Good Thursday morning, April 4th, 2013. You're looking at the International Space Station Flight Control Room as a team of flight controllers once again looks over all of the systems aboard the International Space Stations, those systems operating in excellent shape aboard the complex, as this team of flight controllers has been on console since early this morning on about a 9-hour shift that allows teams of flight controllers to overlap and support station operations around the clock here in Houston 24 hours a day. You're looking at the team from the front corner of the room. The team today, once again, is led by Flight Director Mike Lammers. He's joined by David St. Jacques, who is serving as the communications link between this flight control team and the crew on board the International Space Station. That space station at 250 miles above the Earth's surface is just about to track off the southern tip of Kamchatka as it begins a northeasterly to then southeasterly track across the Pacific Ocean into an orbital sunrise in about 20 minutes midway across the Pacific. From this vantage point, the crew sees an orbital sunrise and sunset every 45 minutes or so. 16 orbits a day make up the 24-hour orbital period of the International Space Station. The Expedition 35 crew aboard the complex, comprised of 6 crew members. The commander of Expedition 35, Chris Hadfield, from the Canadian Space Agency, seated on the right of the logo in this view. Standing behind him, his 2 colleagues, Roman Romanenko and Dr. Tom Marshburn, arrived at the station aboard their Soyuz spacecraft back in mid-December. They plan to return home in the late evening of Monday, May 13th. That's the current targeted return home time for those 3 crew members. They are enjoying their 105th day aboard the International Space Station, 107 days total in space. The 3 newest crew members celebrating 1 week now aboard the International Space Station, and also, of course, 1 week since their launch. That 3 additional crew members of Expedition 35 made up of U.S. astronaut Chris Cassidy and Russian cosmonauts Pavel Vinogradov and Alexander Mazurkin. Those 3 arrived at the station 1 week ago, late at night on Thursday, March 28th. They plan to stay aboard the station until around September 11th is the current targeted return home time for those 3 crew members after about 5.5 months in space. The 6 crew members wake up about 1 o'clock in the morning Central Time each day, and that was no different today. They held their normal routine daily planning conference. It was very short this morning at 2:30, shortly after they completed all of their morning chores aboard the station, and they now headed off in different directions to support all of the scientific investigations, the focus of which for Chris Cassidy today is the burning and suppression of solids experiment. He's essentially reviewing all of the procedures for the future work that he'll be doing with that experiment. There's a number of other experiments, the binary colloids alloy test, hardware setup activities ongoing today aboard the station as well. The Russian cosmonauts over in the Russian segment of the station have continued to review documents in preparation for a Russian-based spacewalk scheduled for mid-April. And of course, the crew members spend time with all of their normal activities, housekeeping chores, and exercise routines to maintain their cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems for their long-duration stays in space. So life aboard the station continues, and here on the ground, the teams have continued with the activities associated with continuing to activate the new communications system on board the station. Today is day 3 of that activity, which essentially is continuing with some checkouts of some video cameras on board the station, and of course sets the stage for the final installation of the communications unit number 1, which will occur a week from today on Thursday next week, April 11th. So that's the day for the Expedition 35 crew aboard the International Space Station, as the station is in excellent shape orbiting the Earth every 92 minutes.